Happy Monday, everybody. I'm here on Monday night tonight. We got 2 shows back to back tonight, tomorrow night, and we are going to have some fun this week. Tonight, we're going to start off. We're going to do a little Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference pre-show. And I have some amazing friends with me tonight. I have Mr. Ryan RPG Golembeske here in the house, the MC of the conference.
Yeah.
And then I also have joining us is Miss Krista and Miss Brandy from Blondes and Booze. How's everybody tonight?
Hello.
Wonderful.
Good.
Wonderful.
Oh,
This
good.
is honestly, I can tell you, going to be a long week just because I'm excited for this weekend.
Yes. Yes, I get a little bit of a jump start on all y'all because I get to leave on Wednesday night.
Yep, you do.
And then I'll be flying to Krista's, and I will be driving down to the conference with her. So I actually get a 2-day head start on all y'all.
Yep. And Thursday
you get
night,
extra time with Krista, so double
Yes.
bonus.
yeah. And Thursday night we're crashing with Letitia and Bart Nunley, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we're
It'll
gonna
be
have a good
fun.
time. Mhm.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Yep.
Hey, everybody over in chat. Thanks for joining us tonight. I saw that Gary is going to be listening. He says he's cutting bales of hay. So, Gary, I don't think you're supposed to be doing that. But if you are, at least you're listening, and that's what matters. And I saw Jane in the house. I saw Crystal in the house. We've got Val. We've got Flat Rock. Flat Rock will be there as well. Bobby, I saw her. Crystal J. Walathis, thanks for being here tonight. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody for right now. Oh, Shane. Hello, Mr. Ozark Mountain Sasquatch. How are you, Shane? Glad you are here. So, Mr. RPG.
Yeah. What up, Nona Boss? What up?
We got us ladies got a sneak peek of your newest member of your family. You want to share a little bit?
Yeah, so a wonderful story. I take you to a magical evening filled with orange lightning and fireworks as our youngest baby, number 4, decided to be born, or should I say mother willed her to be born on the 4th of July. She should have came on the 3rd, but she didn't move. She sat there and she said, no, I will have my way with number 4. So we're driving at 11:15. We have an hour drive away, and we're going, and she's making those sounds that you only make when you do that. And it's so beautiful and so powerful. And at the same time, the sky is erupting with lightning and fireworks. And it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And for anyone that's been in that situation, it's terrifying, right? So it's amazing. Right? It's so beautiful. But anyway, we got there. We were in and out of there in 35 minutes. I will tell you, she got on that bed. That head popped out. The midwife says, stand up. And now we come from the medical system where you're in the hospital. They don't let you do anything. You're hooked up like you're in the Matrix, right? But we all natural this. She said, stand up. She stood up, and that baby, no lie, shot out of her like a firework and was caught. And it was the most spectacular thing I've ever
Gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Caught her. And little baby Eden was born spectacularly. And
well, congratulations.
Yeah. Nice. So that was 4th of July. So she had her 4th of July baby, and they're doing great. And I'm really hyper because I'm on 0 sleep.
Yeah, right. Sleep deprivation.
Yeah, get out of the room. When are you going to leave the room? Go sleep in another room. Don't you. You can get sleep if you need to. And I'm like, no, we're good, man. We're good. Babies.
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome. That is so amazing. I mean, a 4th of July baby. I mean, I don't know. Mom's amazing. I tell you.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it was a good day.
She's
right? She might grow up hating us. I got to share my birthday with 4th of July, you know. We'll see. At least I'll never forget it, you know.
Right.
That's true.
Sure.
That's true.
Sure.
Nobody will. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So well, thank you for sharing that with us. So I know you guys have got you're with Outkast Paranormal, and I know you guys have got so many different projects, tons of irons in the fire, and so tell me, so Skunk Ape lives, right? Experiments. Am I saying that wrong?
It's all right.
Two,
It's one word. It's just a bunch of them.
right?
Yeah, Skunk Ape Experiments
That
2.
just, yeah, so
Yep.
that just came out. And then what, do you guys have something else coming up?
Yeah, we've got a few things down the pipe. Stacy also has the C. Wayne Wilson movie, which will be coming out
Oh,
at some
yes.
point. Yeah, and he's just for people that, without spoiling anything, he's like, if you love Bobo as a character, when Bobo was first on Finding Bigfoot, Wilson's a character, like even more of a
Yes.
character in some ways. So just great source material to adventure through the paranormal. But then Skunk Ape Experiments 2. So we have 1 and 2, and 3 will come out. And then once you have all 3, people will see the full beautiful picture of this adventure. And then that will be followed by The Conjuring House, and we don't know what to name it yet. So if you can come up with a name, we may use it. But
Awesome.
we adventured at The Conjuring House, and it was awesome. We pushed the envelope. We did things that, we just I was like, well, I'm gonna sleep in the basement, and they're like, really? Nobody. I'm like, when's the last time someone slept in the basement? They're like, I couldn't remember. So as far as I know, myself and my boy Austin, we're the first 2 to sleep in the Conjuring basement in a long time. And dude, I saw a snake skin in that basement that was long enough, and snakes don't bother me. It's still like, whoa, but
I would have been like, ah.
oh, dude, dirt floors. This is like you can see into the earth. Oh, there's Middle Earth in there. Crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, it was beautiful. I could ramble on about that place, but
Yeah.
wait,
Well,
somebody
Brandy,
said they had gone as well, right? You girls had gone there, right?
I have not, but Brandy has. Yes.
I have. I did stay the night there, and it was just fantastic. I can't say enough about that place.
Oh,
Just had a really good time. Really good time.
Where did you sleep at, Brandy?
I slept in the middle bedroom upstairs.
Yeah.
And I listened to footsteps walk back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
well, there was a lot of action in that room, as you probably know. That
Yeah.
was yeah. That's crazy. You know what's crazy is that there's a room up there, as you know, where it's an attic room, and you go in, nails poking through the ceiling, everything. It's hot in there, even in the middle of the winter. What's
Yes.
this used for? Oh, this is where the women gave birth.
Oh, wow.
It
Yeah.
was the most miserable room I've ever, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Things have gotten better. I got to tell you, things have gotten better. That's horrible, and I'm so sorry. I apologize for the whole history.
It had one purpose and one purpose only. Nobody was staying in there. It's like, hurry up, get your business done, get out.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no. I actually had Rick on a couple of weeks ago. He came on and he talked just a little bit about what y'all did on just day 1.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow, if that's what you guys did on day 1, I cannot even imagine what the rest of the week was like.
Yeah.
How long did you stay there?
We were there for about a week. So
Holy
it was
cow.
yeah. I stayed in that basement. I stayed the whole time. And if you hear the stories about that house, you heard about the lady, right?
Yeah.
The crooked neck lady. And
Let's talk about her.
Oh,
Just in case
oh.
anybody hasn't.
Okay. So without getting too crazy geeked out on it, you have these kindergarten classes of children that in the basement, it's kind of used to be stables, used to be all these things, but there's windows and glass, and the furniture's there. So they're saying it's the original furniture. If this is true, it is one of the most naturally creepy things possible, because you see, what do children do? They draw what they see, what they know, right? So it's all this basic tables, teacher, all this stuff, but in all the pictures, there's this one picture of a woman in a white gown with the neck obviously broken. And these poor children, apparently, when they were in class, she would walk by the window, staring in at them and walking by and essentially terrify them. And they drew it on this furniture that you can see when you go to the Conjuring basement.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, right? Oh my God. So of course I slept right there, slept right there.
Did you actually sleep?
Yeah.
Were you able to get sleep?
Oh yeah. I'm building up a good courage skin. Like at first, because I slept right near the well, which if people don't know, listen, people were really mean back in the day, really mean and evil, because I didn't know why the well was in the house. I was like, trivia, why is the well in the house? I'm like, that is weird. But they had to put it in the house because your neighbors would poison you, kill all you and all your animals, and then just move into the house. Then who's going to know any different? So,
oh wow.
Yeah, stuff was hardcore. So of course I sleep right near the well, because that's the ring and the gates of hell, all the things your imagination is telling you is going to come on. but also because the crook lady, that's where she walks by. And
Did you see her?
no, that first night I laid there, and the boy Austin, what's Austin's last name? His dad's the one that worked on all of the paranormal shows. Really great people, really talented. But he's like, "Oh, you're staying down there? I'll stay down there too. If you stay down there," I'm like, "Great, come with me, right?" Like, I don't mind. Yeah, it's gonna be creepy. And he laid there, and it's on TikTok. It's got millions of views or something. But he's touched and like talked to, and it's happening all to him. And I'm sitting there going, "Damn, I shouldn't have brought him along. He's getting all the fun, right? Like everybody's hitting on him."
Wow.
And that was it. He did one night, and he's like, "I'm not going back down there. That's crazy." So what did I do? I took my bed that was over near the well, which I thought was scary, and I put it right where his was. And I laid right there, and I said, "Okay, let's rock." It's supposed to be a little boy there too that died, was poisoned. Which, God, that having kids, like I can't deal with anything with kids, and I'm like, nope,
Sure.
nope, nope.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any interaction, and I was trying to be sweet and be like a daddy, and like Papa Bear, you can play. But no, unfortunately.
Wow.
Man.
Yep. 7
But
nights or something. 6 nights, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, we could talk about what you guys did on day one, right?
Well, we could talk all around it. It's just hyping it up. You have to see it to kind of believe what we did. We got. Well, what are you referring to? Because there's so much kind of craziness, and
Let's talk about what y'all did on day one.
What does that mean?
Like you buried somebody alive.
Oh, yeah.
It was the Outkast version of the Estes method on steroids.
Yes. Right. So the more you girls know, the more you do this, at some point you say to yourself, "Is it the land? Like, is it always the land?" Right?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Right.
it's really fascinating. So, for me, The Conjuring, I would say, is the land, because never mind all the fun stuff in the house. I was just sitting out there in the summer in that yard, and it looked like you ever see the movie Legend with Tom Cruise and the beginning of that fantasy world where the air is alive with there's something magical about that spot. And I swear it's the land. So we were like, well, how do we get into the land, right? On no budget. So what do a bunch of rednecks do? We dig a hole. And the owner at the time, Corey, just a great guy who's down to experiment on the fringe. He's like, all right, you can bury me in it. Bury me in the yard. So we do a live burial. We actually did a little funny kind of jackassy ceremony to get him in, but we buried him in the ground. Now simultaneously, so I'm looking around. I'm like, what can I do? What can we do that hasn't been done here? And I go, I'll go in the well. I'll do it in the well, because that would get me in the ground, right? Like I'd be in, and that's a conduit, water and those tunnels. The energy there is flowing. So I'm like, I'll go in. And now I did not want to go in. Like there's not, but one of the greatest things about being like a group, of any group you can be a part of, is you push each other, and I don't know, I stand a little taller, right? I act a little tougher than I actually am, but I love it, and that's what I love about it. So I said, I'll go in the well. So at the same time I'm in the well, hooked up, he's underground, buried, hooked up, and we begin to talk and actually begin, and that's all I can tell you is there's some.
Wow.
It's fascinating that works.
Wow.
Maybe girls, you understand it better and you can explain it to me, but what a great moment. And just a caveat to that, because it's so funny. So we had a guy come and film with us for a few days who was actually, I believe, second unit director on the actual Conjuring films, like legit good dude, like comes in just polished. Like if you had to leave I'm leaving my whole family and my fortune with you for a year, just don't mess it up. And he'd be like, no problem, done. And he would do it. Well, he goes, hey, you want me to tell you what I saw in that well, like before I was going to do it? And I said, no, don't tell me, because I have the most beautiful imagination and I will scare myself to death. No, I want to be pure. I don't want to know what anyone's seen there. I want to see if I feel it, which is good. And also, don't scare the crap out of me. Well, I go in, I do it. It's deep, deeper. We had to put a box in. It is cold, and I do Wim Hof training, so I actually train to be in the cold water, but I don't know. That's different, man. That's being up for numerous days, not sleeping, whatever. It's a good time to do it, actually, probably. But anyway, we do it. I come out, it's over. He looks at me, he goes, can I tell you what I saw in there now? And you want to guess what he saw in there?
No telling.
I thought he was going to say, like, I saw the scariest crook neck witch's face that anyone's ever, and he goes, no, I saw the largest snake I've seen on this property come out of that well.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I was like, you mother, beep, 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 beep. You should have told me. You should have told me. I would have never done it. I don't like you. I don't like you.
I don't think I would have ever. No, 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 no. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I would have flipped. I
no
would have flipped
snakes, no
out.
spiders.
I would have.
No,
Heart attack. Heart
That
attack.
would have been enough for me.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Nope.
Yep. So, you know, we had to do it numerous times stuff, but what an experience, right? Like I didn't have it, but I actually have like a little vial that I take with me. I'll show you when we're at the thing of water from the well, right?
Oh wow.
Piece of me. Part of my journey, like trying to be less afraid of everything.
Oh wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, and I've heard you talk about this a few different times. And I really resonate with this line of thought about sleep deprivation and it putting you into that zone where you're able to kind of maybe see a little more, hear a little more of the other side. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Girls, would you like to go first? That's
Go ahead, Brandy. You're up.
well, I mean, for me, yeah, you're absolutely correct because you know, at the beginning, just even in one night, say, because you know, normally I have to drive a really long way and then I have to stay up all night and then I have to head home the next day. So I'm always super tired.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, when it gets about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm just running out, that's when I want to do everything. That's when I can dive in and just hear everything and see everything. It's because you're like right at that point where you want to sleep, but you're still awake.
Yep.
And it's just like your body relaxes.
Mhm.
And for me, that's the best time. It really, really is. I'm telling you what, I've had some really weird experiences about that time.
Mm-hmm. And
Uh,
a paranormal hangover too. That's a true thing.
Oh, yeah. That always accompanies it. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. About 9 o'clock the next morning.
Yep.
You feel like you drink a fifth of tequila and can't move.
That's been me every night, girls, for 2 weeks. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, but you have a great excuse for it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's the new baby hangover, you know.
Yeah. I because people talk about it, right? Like you take someone like Aleister Crowley, and if you just look at him topically, you're immediately frightened and you shouldn't even look at him or think of anything.
Mhm.
But then when you start to look at it objectively and be like, okay, why does everyone say stay away, right? Like, I'm a good dude. I check it out. And you start looking at the pieces. One of the pieces to his key to enlightenment was sleep deprivation. You
Right.
cut away all the crazy, satanic, weird
Yep.
shit.
You're right.
That's it. And I think my gut and everything, life is way more simple. We overcomplicate it. So I think when you're sitting there at 3 a.m. and you're finally calming down, what's really happening is you're closing down. You're not crazy
Mhm.
anymore. I think we're all walking around crazy all the time. But in those moments, no, you're in the moment. You're there. You're
Mhm.
finally like chill.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's when people come talk. That's what I'd assume.
Yeah.
And you come, okay, you finally relaxed. Hello, my name is Seymour, and you're like, oh, Seymour, you're a ghost.
Right.
Right.
Because you're just more tuned into everything that's
Mhm.
around you and you're
No,
not
you are.
distracted by everything else in your everyday life because I feel like we are so distracted
Sure.
that I mean how do we even have time to even I please, I know this is terrible and don't everybody do it, don't
Preach
anybody
it,
do
girl.
it.
Preach it.
But like I could be driving and it's like I'm texting or I'm voice messaging somebody. I'm trying to catch snippets of moments of like, oh my gosh, I forgot this. I got to do this. I got to get that done. And it's like, even when you're driving, like you should be like focused on the road. And I find myself doing that sometimes because I run out of time.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the night, when you're like in that zone, it's like, wow, okay, now we can just stop, chill, listen, learn, look, and I feel like it definitely is, it's a peaceful moment. You're right. Yeah.
It really
Yeah,
is.
it just seems like the location quiets down with you. And then, it's like they're waiting for you to get in the zone for them to come talk to you. They're like, okay, now they're ready. Now they're ready.
Right.
They'll give you little snippets, all night long until that point. And then it seems like I get more conversation during that time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Except
Maybe
for
the whole
Malvern
world
Manor.
is quieter. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
I was just going to say, except for Malvern Manor, that place, like when we went to bed, it was quiet. They totally let us sleep. So,
Really?
yeah.
I,
Now,
I, not
now
for me, they didn't. Not for me, they didn't. They were after me then, but that's beside the point.
I didn't hear nothing. I did not hear a darn thing.
And you guys were sleeping where? In two different areas of the.
No, we were in the same. It's like a gathering room, and there's a bunch of chairs and several couches and stuff, and you just crash wherever. And there's 4 of us in there. And honestly, they didn't bother me at all. I didn't hear nothing, and I was awake. I laid there. I was playing on my phone for a little bit, just waiting to hear something, and nothing.
Right. So, Krista, now listen, you have to tell them the story really quickly about Ray County. Real quickly, what happened?
Okay,
Take
so
the time. I love a good story.
all right. So the night before, this was a crazy night. So our friend is the curator for the Ray County Museum, which is over near Kansas City, Missouri. So the night before, we met some friends up there and we ghost hunted. And there's an apartment there that we stayed in, and it was Kathy, and then she had her dog on its little bed on the floor, and then I had a cot, and then Brandy was on an air mattress next to me. So this was like, what, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just laid down, just dozing off. And I was laying on my side and I felt something like feel my leg, like underneath underneath my cot. So I sat up. I'm like, not tonight. Get out of here. Yelling at whatever. Brandy gets up. She looks up at me. She goes, it was an effing cat. So Kathy has she takes in and fixes cats and stuff, So yeah, so it was a cat that was filling me up that morning. And then that's not it. That's not it. So then go back to sleep. After I woke everybody up, go back to sleep. 5 o'clock in the morning, I get up, I have to go to the bathroom. Get up, go do my thing, come back, and I step over Jack, the dog. And he had his head down, and as soon as I had 1 foot over, he lifted his head up and down, boom, I went. Woke everybody up again. So
Yeah, it's this kind of like she was yelling, and I've heard her do this before, when we've been in locations, and she, we get to the point where, it's sleep time, leave us alone, don't,
leave us
we
alone.
have to have some rest. So, when she said that and the way she said it with that force, I'm like, all right, who am I going to have to fight? Who am I going to have to fight? And I'm half asleep, like I'm fighting somebody. I just don't know who it is. And then I'm like, it's an effing cat. It's an effing cat.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, that we got no sleep that night because of me. Yeah. So
I love that you screamed out "not tonight" as if like this is a fairly common occurrence, and you're always like thwarting the approaches.
Yeah, it is.
Those,
It is.
Krista, may I lay with you tonight? No, not tonight. Not tonight.
No.
Yep.
It's just kind of like there are times where you just you can't do it. It's like, stop waking me up, because it was in the apartment which belonged to Kathy, and this place is off limits. So to spirits. So it's kind of like when that happened, Chris is like, nope, not happening, not in here. And that's why we specifically slept in there, because the next day we were off to Iowa from Kansas City. So we needed some rest. So, well, yeah, that didn't work out.
No, it was awful. It was awful. Yeah, Letitia said in chat, I didn't hear nothing in Michigan either. Same kind of thing. We had some activity in Michigan in our hotel room. Letitia and I did. So, but poor girl, she's they're inhumanoid cryptid people. She's not a ghost person, and she had first eyewitness of ghosts that night in our hotel room. And I wasn't even thinking ghosts don't bother me, so I went right to sleep. She sat up all night long, scared to death. I was like, "Why didn't you wake me up?"
And that was my fault, and it was my fault. And Letitia, I love you. I am so sorry. I promise. I'm sorry.
So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So Ryan, tell us one of your stories about funny whatever when you
about cryptids, about ghosts,
anything.
about
anything. Yeah.
Oh, jeez, and where do you? trying to think. I've stood in so many places that I wish I could take all of us to like kind of be there and really just, I don't know, share in this kind of freakishly wonderful moment.
Well, you know what? You mentioned redneck. You know, if you mention redneck and you mention ghosts and they're in the same sentence, you know something's got to be funny. Something's got to be
Well,
funny.
well, here, okay. I'll share you something that I probably shouldn't be sharing you something. How's that? So
Okay.
I had this wonderful idea for a long time, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to take people who are not us. So we all have the friends that are like, hell no, I would never go in that house. That's ridiculous. You people, but they love us for it, but we're ridiculous. Okay,
Right.
so what if you took a group of them and you gave them everything they needed to do a legit paranormal investigation in a house? And what if those people happen to be your aunt and her 3 scaredy crap friends, and you happen to do it at the Conjuring house? And you gave them an opportunity that any of us would kill to have that opportunity, and you give it to the 4 people that want it the least. I don't want anything to do with it. And so all I can tell you is redneck. Oh yeah, to watch them squirm. But see, I'm older now. Younger me just would want to watch them squirm, right? And just laugh at how scaredy they are, because I would be scared too. But the older me, what is it really, right? You take a bunch of scaredy cats and you stick them in the, like, as far as they're concerned, the Conjuring movies are real. This is all real. I'm gonna go there and be possessed by the devil. Like, just the worst case. I'm gonna get AIDS in my toes. Like, everything is just horrible. But none of that happens. And when they walk out, they realize, holy shit, I actually went through a rite of passage as an adult. Because to see those women go from what they were in the beginning and just all that nervous tat to coming out and being like, that was actually really cool. Like, they got a taste of why we love it, right? They got a taste, they fell in love with it. So yeah, there's a lot of funny moments though. And people that you want to talk about going into that spot in the attic and going in, I'll never do that. I'll never do that. And then one of them went and actually sat in there and did it. I was so proud of him, man. I was so, yeah, you'll laugh, and then you'll also you'll be like, well, that might be a little cruel to do to these people, you know. But
yeah, it's like throw them in the fire. Just throw them in the fire. Go ahead.
dude, when you do not set expectations and you don't know what's coming, those are all the stories you remember so well and so clearly, because you got to get rid of that crap, and then life is amazing, you know.
Yep.
I know we could talk about. I mean, considering the fact that the conference this year is kind of finding Bigfoot theme oriented, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be there except I think Bobo, right? Bobo isn't going to make
there
that.
in spirit.
So how about we talk about a moment that you guys you talked about on one of your Outkast Paranormal episodes where finding Bigfoot thought they found Bigfoot?
Yeah, the greatest untold story of all time. Yeah. Okay. This one takes a sec, ladies. So I'm sorry.
I want to hear.
I'm gonna eat up.
It's good. We're gonna love it.
Oh God. So basically, we're in I don't know if you're familiar with the Turner, Maine Bigfoot. There's footage, you can bring it up on YouTube right now. Turner, Maine, and it is a Bigfoot that's walking through the woods in daylight, moaning, kind of dragging its feet. Very, very unique video. You know, your first thing is you want to look at it and go, it's BS, or that's a Bigfoot in mourning. You know what I mean? Like, it's, anyways. But there's a video. So this little boy, yeah, Turner, Maine Bigfoot. And this kid put it out, and then all of a sudden he's just picked on by everyone in school. And one of the things I liked about TV is if you show up, you interview someone, it kind of like validates that what they said is more true, I guess. I don't know, because we went and stood in solidarity with that kid and his family and put him on TV, you know what I mean? And then it was better. You know, it was better. It's still, you know, people can be really harsh about this content. But anyway, we go there that night. And we go out in the woods, and now they had wood knocks. They heard them. They felt like they were around. So we really thought it was a good spot. And it just so happens to be like the darkest, like moisture-laden air night of all time. Like the one night we, you know, even the most hardened of us are like, yeah, I mean, this is stupid to go out there. We're going to poke our eyes out. It's like, it's a dumb night. But in show business, that's the only time you got, because you're on a schedule. So we had to do it. Right. They go out, they come back in late night, you know, around that magic witching hour that we're talking about. They're tired, they're hungry. I'm like, Bobes, how was it? Shut up, I gotta eat, you know. So just right in the line. So now my theory is like, they're like a lure. big fish. It's like we're fishing for Bigfoot. And they go out in the woods, stink it all up, and come stumbling back. Well, if I was an animal, I'd follow them out of my territory, right? Or at least see what they're doing. So they come out, and I go in. And there's this old logging road that kind of cuts deep into the woods and cuts off the back of the property. And like I said, the clouds had come down and touched the ground and invited the earth to create clouds. I mean, it was just crazy. And so this road where you go down, like, I don't know, like 100 feet or so, it like turns around the corner, and it was deep. And there was like water in it. So I go out with 2 apples because I believe in doing offerings and showing a great sign of respect and trying to establish communication by first having a basis of respect. So I go out, I show them the apples. These are for you. I go to throw one this way, and it's so dark. Like, this is visibility, right? Like it's
wow.
Good. I throw it, and there was a tree right there. So it literally hit the tree and fell right in front of me. And then I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh man, these things are going to think I'm so stupid. They think I'm so stupid. So I take the other one and I throw it down, and it goes and it lands in the water. And that was the first inkling that I'm a brave person, but I was scared because it hit the water, and I went from like, oh yeah, I'm a Bigfooter. I do this profession, and I was like, I didn't know there was water there. So it hits the water. Now I get down into a submissive posture that some great apes use, where you get down on your knee, you put your hand palm up, and then they come and they run their hands atop of it, the male silverback whale, and then you're like in his good graces. Who knows if that works or not? But I'm just trying to show respect, right? It's all about, listen, I'm here to learn and be respect. So I get down. Now, on the darkest, stormiest, scariest night I've ever been in the woods, I threw an apple. I got down on my thing, and just a few seconds later, something walks out, kapoosh, kapoosh, into the water, picks that thing up, and kapoosh, kapoosh, out, silence.
Wow.
Now, hanging in that moment, me on the ground, now I start shaking uncontrollably because, oh my God, it's real, right? I'm like crazy. So that's me. That's what's going on. Now, meanwhile, back at camp, young Mike Geschwin, who was the PA at the time, or he might have been working on cameras too at that, he's been told by Matthew Moneymaker to go out and to look around and film. And like I had told him, like, they're here, I'm going to do an experiment. It's like, all right. Yeah. And at that point, he's still kind of on the fence. So he's walking down the wood line, filming, just looking with a FLIR, with a thermal camera, so that you can see the heat signatures of things in the woods, for those that aren't savvy with that. And now they're also doing interviews at this time, late night interviews. Yeah. Just let's get it over with. I got to get back and shampoo my golden locks. And as he's walking along, now I stand up in the woods, and he sees me. Now here's why it's like a series of unfortunate events or fortunate events come together. I'm wearing a Jack Sparrow wig. Okay, I would dress up every day. It was me. In high school, I dressed up as a different teacher or person in the school. Like, it's just fun. I think we should all be wildly more expressive. The world would be a more beautiful place. But I'm wearing Jack Sparrow, so I'm out there. So when he pans across, and I'm not, I got some muscle on me. The way that the hair made it look like I had no neck. So it's just this muscular thing standing out in the woods. And he called over the radio, "Is anyone in the woods? Is anyone in the woods?" Nobody answered, because I had taken off my stuff and shown the Bigfoot that I'm not here for anything but a genuine experience. And so he's like, oh my God. So now he's watching me interact, and I'm trying to do, like, I don't know what I was doing, but like sign language or like motion and see if anything. So then I take a rock and I pick it up, and he's like, no. And I throw a rock. So now he's like, oh my God, we've done it. So then he comes over the wire. Okay, now remember, this is a professional show, looking for Bigfoot, and we've been waiting for this for years. And he comes over and says, "Guys, we got him." And the boss, who was never a believer, it's like, this is all crap. He comes over and says, "What the hell are you talking about? Get off the wire. We're doing interviews." He goes, "No, we got him. We got Bigfoot." Now that sends a ripple through everyone, because everyone's like, "What? Like, this is the night? Like, but my hair and makeup, they're not done." Like, and so now everyone's murmuring, and he's filming. And Matt Moneymaker's like, "What? What?" He's like, "Give me that." And he goes, "Mike, where are you?" And he's like, "I'm down here by the stone wall." "I'll be right there. Give me my walking sticks." And he comes waddling down, just like aggressively, and he gets there. And remember, I'm in the woods. I am legitimately having one of the greatest Bigfoot interactions I've ever had. Like changed me. I will never forget how I felt, how powerful it was. So I really have an interact. And alive behind me now. The whole hive is like, bzzz. Even the guy that thought it was all BS is like, am I going to have to rethink this Bigfoot thing? You know? And then he comes over, give me that, Michael. And he looks, and then all that bravado, all that, you know, Bavarian orchestral bravado, he's like, Mike, you've done it. You are going to be famous like me now, you know, like just good job. We're going to do this together. I'm still going to take all the credit, but good job. And they got there, and for a moment on Finding Bigfoot, everyone felt like they had done it. And I'd like to say I provided that, but of course, I wasn't supposed to be out in the woods doing any of this. You know, you're working, you're not
Right.
doing it. But what a waste! What a waste, right? So then finally they noticed, and they're like, "Wait, where's RPG? What's going on?" And then they actually call out into the woods, "RPG, is that you?" And you see me turn in the footage and raise my hand, and we have thermal footage of the whole thing. It's all silent.
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It was really a beautiful moment. He was so mad at me. He was so mad at me because he thought he had done it. He'd won the lottery. He was like Roger Patterson. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think he still hates me to this day. You know.
So he's not going to be happy to see you this weekend.
Oh no, actually I don't. He's a camera guy. I think on Naked and Afraid. He's been doing that for a long time. So he's in Zimbabwe or something, like barely surviving but making good money. So good for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good moment. It was a good moment.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that story.
Yeah, that's a great story.
I love that story. Like, it doesn't, I mean, I can't imagine what they really, like, they must have been like, oh my gosh, we did it. We got it. It's here.
Right.
It's in the can. We've got it. And then
we saved the show. I'm sorry. He said that. He said we saved the show, and they were, because this was near the end. And we all wanted it, even though those guys all saying I'm wanted, I'm over it. You know, all those things you get when you get so comfortable with success, I guess.
Right.
And I'm like, no way, man. This should go on forever. We're getting paid to travel, meet cool people in nature-rich locations. Like, no, this should go on forever. So they thought they saved it, man. That was about 15 minutes of pure paranormal joy, you know, before it all came crashing down, and I was a jerk. You're never doing that again or you're fired. Absolutely not. I will never do that again. Yeah, right.
How did they, I do have a question about like the show. How did they end up getting the word out to the locals that you guys were going to be in town doing the town halls? How did you guys do that?
Well, at first it started, we had to like produce it. So we had to go through the eyewitnesses and then see if their friends, like friends of friends, kind of to draw them in. And nobody wanted to go. Remember, the beautiful thing about that show is it really opened the gates for people to come and stand and deliver and share what they experienced. And at first they couldn't get people to go. They actually had to pay people sometimes just to sit there and just be associated with it. But then by the end, you would just, the newspaper, radio, we did all sorts of stuff like that. And there were so many people, we had to turn them away. We felt bad. You know, the venues just wouldn't even hold them. So yeah, it was this very, very slow start, but to every single person that was a part of that show, especially all you people that showed up and shared your stories, you're heroes, and you made the world a better place for people like us. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was always my favorite part. I just loved hearing the encounters, and I just loved, and that's kind of how I got where I am today. Like, you know, just listening to all these podcasts and, you know, hearing people's encounters and stories, and it's just so powerful, you know, and moving, and super important that we always kind of get back to those grassroots a little bit sometimes, you know, and remember that's kind of, you know.
Yeah, well, it's important to listen. Yeah, we've got to listen.
Yep.
Have a safe place for people. Yeah,
absolutely.
And you carry that zeitgeist onward with this, like that, and it's neat because that could have been part of one of the things that helped establish who you are as the Nona boss, and why you feel the need to share and make people feel wonderful. Dude, I love your opening thing where it be kind and you show the whole world and stuff. Like, you don't have to put that. You could just have a ghost there. You know, you could just have any of that. But that's your real message. Let's do this. And let's be civil and in love and sweet. And I really appreciate that. So thanks for keeping the love moving.
Thank you. Yeah. You know, I mean, I think it's super important that we're all we have these conversations, and we're able to have sometimes tough conversations and talk about tough uh, topics. I'll just say that tough topics. But I mean, we need to be able just to do it, like you said, in love, with respect, and we all should be able to be adults and
Right.
kind of work through some of the issues that may be out in the in the community. I mean, I just one of the things that has always been a real thorn in my side are some of just some of the evidence that gets put forth. I feel like just doesn't seem to get you know doesn't seem to really get vetted, or doesn't seem to even I'm trying to say this delicately and nicely, like we just need to kind of raise our standards, right? We need to
Sure.
raise our standards as far as evidence, in my opinion, anyway.
Yep.
But even that, having that particular conversation, we can still have that conversation, based in kindness, based in love, and mutual respect.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
So RPG, when you're in Gatlinburg, do you plan on hitting the woods at all, or?
I would, to be honest, with the newborn, I was kind of using it to get actual sleep. So is there a chance I may go out Saturday night? Yeah, maybe. But for me, it'll just be that, when you just step away for a sec and you realize
Sure.
I'll probably be crying, having one drink, going, I love my life and my family, I miss them. And then
Yeah.
it'll probably be low key for me. But if something comes up that's good, I can be very easily persuaded. That's the thing. So you let me know. You're like, no, dude, this place got Bigfoot, ghosts, portals. Are you in? I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but yeah.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah,
if we
absolutely.
find it, I'll have Marty get in touch with you.
Yeah. Yes, please. All right, so you guys are going out? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
No, I mean going. You doing something on Saturday evening or Friday evening, like a ghost hunt or something?
The only spirits that we're doing on Saturday evening are at some bar with a bucking. What is it? Donkey. What is
Yeah.
A mechanical donkey.
Yeah.
That's
Wait, I
yeah.
kind of want to go to that.
You're more
I
than
know.
come on.
Come
Okay.
You
on,
are
come
most
on.
welcome.
Absolutely. Come with us. Come to dinner with us. We're going
Aw.
to some Mexican restaurant that has a mechanical donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're doing.
And we're gonna find the spirits.
This is
The
the
ones
start
in
of
the
a good
bottle.
movie.
Yeah.
The spirits in the bottle. Yes, that's yes.
Yep. There's a pretty good size
The top
group
shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
But you'd be welcome to come as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like Krista said, we have a pretty good sized group that's going. So, you could stand out front or you could fade to the back, whatever you choose to do.
Hey, I heard that Irish goodbye saves like 2 years of time from your life. So as long as you're cool with that, like,
There you go.
Okay.
yeah,
There it is.
you'll be like, did you see him leave crying? He's like, oh yeah, he must have been thinking about his family. It was time for him to go.
He's got a newborn. It's okay.
Yeah.
He's emotional. He's a mess.
He doesn't have any sleep. It's okay.
Right.
Well,
Like
listen,
Patricia
everybody,
said,
I'm gonna have to jump off here. I've got to get on Texas front porch now. RPG, I will see you on Saturday. I know you can't see me, but I can see you, so I'll give you a shout out when I get there.
Big hug, big hug.
Oh yes, absolutely, big hugs, and I love you, ladies, and I will catch you later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
So for real, seriously, Saturday night, you want to come to dinner with us, come to dinner with us. And
Yeah.
I think Adam Davies is going to be having dinner with us, and Greg Ogles, and it's a whole bunch of
Art, Letitia Nunley, D.A. Roberts, Robbie Raines, all of them. Yeah.
It's a name drop party.
It
is.
It is last.
Yeah. I don't even know. Like, I think I'm having more anxiety though over the whole plane ride than I am anything else. Like,
Aww.
You'd be
well,
fine.
did you see that TikTok where this lady was freaking out because she said somebody on the plane wasn't real?
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
I told Krista, I was like, please don't let that be me. Please don't let that be me.
Wait, you wouldn't want that to be you? I just kind of want
want
to touch
that.
its face and be like, "What? Are you real?"
No, she's having anxiety over it.
I
Oh,
really am. I'm like, what if the
Uh-huh.
person next to me, I'm going to be like this on every flight. I'm going to be like, is that person real? Is that person real? Like,
no,
I
just look
swear.
at him and go, "Are you real?" And then
Yeah,
be
look
like,
at
Yeah,
their
"Yeah, I'm
I
eyes.
can
real."
do
Her
that.
eyes will tell you everything.
Yeah.
I'll pinch them.
Oh,
That's,
they have
that's
dead
Just
eyes.
like
Yeah.
pinch them
there
and
you
see
go.
if they're real, if they jump, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like, the lady's pinching everybody that walks down the aisle.
Yeah. Don't get in trouble before until you get St. Louis, so I can at least
Yeah.
get you bond money.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. I'll call RPG. He'll
Yeah.
he'll get me. He'll help me out.
Oh, I'll protect you. I'll switch seats with you because I'll have so many questions for them. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing on this plane? Like, seriously.
I don't know. It just is like
I think
I just can't imagine that happening.
well, okay. So disclosure is imminent. It's happening every day. The new
Mhm.
leaks, new this, new that, and they're
Sure.
trickling it out. So nobody cares. Everyone's distracted by bigger things that affect them
Mhm.
emotionally. So what's the point of that, right? Why did that video get leaked? That I'm more like, okay, what purpose does that serve?
That's true.
Because so what is it? And is it meant to scare us? Is it meant to make me not want to fly a plane?
Right.
Good
Right.
point. Good
Less
point.
travel, less connectivity between all of
Mhm.
us, less more, or are they vamping up to go, okay, by the way, you usually do sit next to an alien when you fly in a plane, and they
Right.
just take their faces off, and it's like, oh my god, they live,
Right.
Because, like, at some point, I guess I would want to know, why are you on the plane with me if you've got your
Yeah.
own ride someplace?
Right. That's
If
Yeah.
you got your own ride somewhere in a bunker underground or in a cave or under the water, what are you doing on American Airlines right now?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
See, I keep hoping that what it actually was brilliant guerrilla marketing, and it's actually a scene from a new movie about aliens on a plane. Because that to me makes more sense. You know what I mean? Like, because okay, great. So I'm on that plane, and I'm filming her, and she's flipping out, and she's talking about an alien back there. I don't even think I could help it. I would be like this, and I'd be going back there and going, okay, who's the alien? Tell me you're an alien.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
not one person on that plane was like, nope, I ain't messing with aliens.
No, they're like, oh, let's just keep our eyes and our phones on the Karen in the middle of the aisle,
Right.
flipping out. Not
Right.
not the person she's saying isn't real, you know.
Yeah,
Right.
no footage of
Right.
that. It's so
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I saw any footage of whoever the person was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nope.
Just her.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
that raw emotion of her just,
Mhm.
which we're all drawn to now.
I know.
If it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
True
True,
story.
true.
Well, you got to interview. You got to get that girl on the show and interview her. That's an amazing production if you can get that and get her side of the story. But she's probably vanished. She's vanished.
Probably so.
Probably.
Goodbye.
Probably so.
Krista, have
Probably.
you gone to Europe or anywhere else than the States?
No, I've been, around the US, but not abroad.
Yep.
What about you?
Yeah, no, I love it. I just like old architecture and the old
too.
buildings, and yeah, it's just it has so much more character. I feel like they need to let artists and children like run amok amongst ours and just redesign so everything's more visually stimulating or just impressive.
Right. I love history and, things like that. So I like going to old places like you and battlefields. That's a huge one for me. I love battlefields.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you and you say you will see them sometimes? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
see, that's amazing. It's now just as a little boy, like, do you remember the first time you did and kind of how that changed you and you moved toward it and instead of most of us or most people who move away from it,
I had a couple encounters. One when I was a kid, I was scared to go to sleep at night because people would come in my room. So I used to ask my mom and dad not to go to sleep until I would go to sleep. Well, now I know what they were.
Wow.
So fast forward, I was in high school and my school is new. So ghost was the last thing I thought of, but there was an old man passed in the hallway And my friend even, she's like, what are you talking about? When I said something about it, and she's like, I don't see any old man, but there sure was an old man there. So yeah. And now I've learned to, I like hanging out with the dead. I do. I feel like if they're good in life, they're good in death. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. And I like to think most people are good, So
I agree.
most of them aren't there to hurt you, So,
Yep.
And you can talk and talk and talk to them, and they got to listen or they go away.
That's probably why I don't have any hauntings. I just annoy the hell out of them. They're like, no.
Right. That's
No.
me.
Oh, but like how amazing. Okay, so I got little kids, right?
Mhm.
And I hope that they have your gift, you guys' gift. I
Mhm.
think it's amazing, and I want to be in a world where you guys are encouraged to develop it and help it.
Yeah.
Like when that happens, like what do I do, right? Like how do I, besides
Mhm.
teaching them not to be afraid of it and that it's a beautiful
Right.
thing, outside of the random bad
Mhm.
one, like I said, like what would you say? What would you say to that version of yourself who's facing that?
I would absolutely believe your children if they tell you, they see somebody or, even a monster, believe them. Don't discredit what they're saying. Because my belief in that, children, when we die, we go on to heaven, and I believe in reincarnation. So the younger the child is, it wasn't that long ago they were in heaven. So they still have like some of these memories, and they're more open to, seeing things, and definitely encourage them and believe them, and contact somebody to help you so they're not scared of it,
Yeah.
as they grow up.
Mhm.
Yep. Well, I definitely show them like fun. It's funny. It's mostly monster movies because I love creature
Mhm.
features. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're the best. But the funny side story. So my son, he's like, so Saturday nights is special nights. You can stay up Saturday nights, and we fight every night of the week about staying up late. But Saturday nights he does. And that first night, I was like, well, I want to watch this movie. And ironically, it was the movie The Whale with Brendan Fraser, and I just wanted to support him. I like Brendan Fraser, and.
Mhm.
But the movie is not a movie you watch with your son.
Mhm.
Like it is just a horrible, just depressing movie. But we watch the whole thing. Now every night he's like, I want to watch The Whale. Can we watch The
That's
Whale?
awesome.
I'm like, no, we can't watch that movie again. It's too sad.
How
It's
old
too,
is he?
he just turned 5.
Awesome.
So yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of sitting, and if you're gonna stay up late, you gotta do what I gotta do. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, now I have that parental guilt where I'm like, I really made him sit and watch The Whale with me. What
Well,
was
see,
I?
you're setting him up now for,
But that's it.
not
Yeah,
to be scared. My grandson,
yeah,
he's going to be 9. He's absolutely fascinated with dogmen.
yep,
I mean,
yeah,
and whenever I do go to Land Between the Lakes, he's like, well, when do I get to go? And
yeah,
things like that. So yeah, he's totally into it. So
yeah.
I
Well,
think
good.
if you teach them right and they're exposed to it and teach them safety, and I don't think there's
Mhm.
anything wrong with it.
Nope. Yeah, and to approach it with respect and not to be afraid, Use common sense, obviously. Don't go
Right.
chasing no dog, man, but
Right.
um, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Next generation, man, they're gonna do some amazing
Absolutely.
things.
Right. And it's up
Yeah.
to us to teach them the correct way,
Yep. Yeah.
and be respectful. And I don't care if you're looking for Sasquatch or ghost, you always be respectful. And,
Yep.
Mhm.
so,
Oh,
Yeah.
ghosts. I'm still waiting to see like an actual apparition. I haven't had that yet. I had the voices, the talk, like everything around it except that.
really, you never
Yeah.
know. It'll hit you when you're least expecting it.
Well, I imagine it has, and I just didn't know. It
You ever
was
see
so
anything like out
casual.
the corner of your eye when you're investigating, or, because technically, like, that's could be considered a shadow figure. You see something out the corner of your eye, you look, and there's nothing there.
Right. Well, I've seen a lot of that, but
Well, see,
that to me,
you have seen some things.
yeah. And just for me,
Mhm.
it's like I need a little bit more. I'm like, okay, that
Sure.
that could have been for sure,
Mhm.
but just give me something. And I just like to say that maybe I'm not ready yet. I'm still a
For
bit
sure.
too much of a scaredy cat, and then so.
Mhm. Yeah. When your time's ready, you'll see it, and it'll catch you off guard. You'll be like, "Oh my god,"
And I'll yell, "Not tonight!"
Yeah. That's only when you're sleeping and they'd start feeling your legs. So
Yeah,
just in.
Yeah.
so funny.
But a lot of people don't realize that how powerful our words are, right? Just
Mhm.
by saying don't bother me while I'm sleeping. There are boundaries. These are the
Yeah.
boundaries. Don't come in my bedroom, or don't touch me at
Right.
night, or don't talk to me at night. Leave me, like
Mhm.
I'm only available from this time to this time. Like whatever boundary it is you want to put up. I mean, our words have power. So a lot of people
Yep.
don't
Sure
know
do.
that. So it's
Yep.
always
It's all
good to
about
kind
your
of,
intention too, and
absolutely.
it doesn't matter if you're,
Mhm.
ghosting or out looking for Bigfoot, it's about your intention. I feel like they know if you're there for good or bad.
Yep. And getting on the right frequency. And if it
Yeah.
is frequency and vibration and you can match,
Mm-hmm.
then you harmonize. And yeah, I think
Mhm.
that's part of it. And being in
Yeah.
that cool state is what it takes for us to harmonize.
Yep.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure. For sure.
Some people like you two just have it naturally, so you can do it a little easier. The rest of us, we got to get into meditation and hallucinogenics and like all sorts of other things to expedite the process,
We
At
still
that
got to do those things too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
museum I was talking about, I seen a guy one time walk through the hallway there, and I'm pretty sure he is the guy that is out of the World War I room. So, and it kind of looked, military-ish, and just kind of, so it's kind of cool stuff.
And what do you think? Like, what do you really think it is at this point in your career? Is it just deceased people lost or maybe not
I don't
lost?
believe that they're all lost. I think they're here for a reason, and it's some want to be helped, some don't. Some are quite content being
Mhm.
ghost or whatever.
Yeah.
So and as far as like people saying, I mean, you can do a cleansing and get rid of all the negative, but if a ghost doesn't want to cross over, you can't make them.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, and I think they're here for numerous reasons. Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are coming up to the hour here, and I know you got a baby to get back to. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here
Yeah,
and
thank
spending
you.
some time with us tonight.
For sure.
And we're looking forward to the conference. We can't wait.
Yep.
We can't wait.
Yep. I
And
look forward to meeting you.
are you
Yeah,
coming in
agreed.
Friday? You're coming in Friday night?
No, I'll be in Thursday because I
Thursday.
volunteered to help pick up like the Find a Bigfoot cast and bring them over, just kind of for old time's sake, like I used to drive them.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah. But I'll be there on Friday night. We get the VIP dinner, and then obviously all day Saturday.
mhm.
Be there early and stay late, man. But it's gonna be
Well,
so good. So if anyone's on the fence about going, go. I promise you will have a good time.
mhm. Yep.
Gatlinburg itself is spectacular. Like never
It
mind
is.
the conference,
Yes.
And it's good people, man. It's Southern folk.
Mhm.
Southern folk. It's
Mhm.
good.
yeah. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, definitely go and get those tickets. I think that's through Gather Up, and I'm sure they're going to have
We've
general
shared the
admission
we've
on the
shared the
door.
link on Blondes and Booze page too, so anybody
Okay,
can go to our Facebook page and get the link too. Mhm.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to put you backstage for just a minute. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody.
All righty.
Good night,
Thank you
everyone.
guys for
Thanks
being
for
here.
having me, Marty.
Of
Much
course,
love.
anytime. What a good time that was, right, guys? It was a good time. Thanks for coming to the pre-party show tonight. We really had a good time. We talked about a lot of different things, and I have a lot coming up. I will be away for the 2 weeks. I am actually taking an actual vacation. So I will be gone for 2 weeks. However, while I am gone, I will be Thursday on Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. I will be there with him on Thursday. And then Friday night, I will be on a pre-recorded show that I did with Krista and Brandy on Blondes and Booze. I also have coming up after I get back, I have Brown Dwarf going to be joining me on August 1st at 8 p.m. And then on August 6th at 1 p.m., that's a Sunday, I have Mark Fiorentino. He's going to come and we're going to talk about Einstein. Oh, my camera. Sorry. We're going to be talking about Einstein and one of his theories. So that's going to be really interesting. And then on August 7th at 8 p.m., I've got Robbie Rains coming and we're going to talk about, oh my gosh, I just blanked out. We're going to be talking about camouflage, adaptive camouflage is what we're going to be talking about. I'm sorry, guys, my camera keeps getting blurry to me tonight. I don't know why. So we've got and then I have tomorrow night. You make sure you are here tomorrow night because tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Mid-Florida, Bigfoot Research Group, my friend Marie Dumont and her team are going to be here tomorrow night. And we're going to talk some skunk ape research. So guys, make sure that you guys are here for that. And thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate all of you. I love you all. And don't forget, please spread love and kindness wherever you go.